Hi, I'm Laura from Ontario Business Central. I'm with Smriti, the owner of Pawz and Dogz. Welcome. It's so nice to see you.
Thank you so much.
You started a pet supply business. Here, I'll hold it up and maybe you can describe what your product is.
So this is a snuffle mat. A snuffle mat is a puzzle mat that is meant for dogs, cats, and small pets, where you can put food in the loops and crevices of the snuffle mat, and the dog or the cat needs to use their nose and intelligence to sniff out the food or the treats. And when they are doing so, they are developing problem-solving capabilities and cognitive skills.
Now, you started this business in 2019.
Yes.
And now you're in 1,200 stores.
Yes.
In Canada?
Canada, US, a few countries in Europe, Taiwan, New Zealand.
That's incredible. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So tell us about your journey. Tell us about when you first started your business and what made you decide to take the leap.
Yes, you put that correct, taking the leap. Because if you would have asked me this question 5 years ago, whether I see myself as an entrepreneur, I would have drawn a blank. I have always worked in corporates with leadership teams, and my qualification and work experience was nowhere close to running a business. The only alternate thing that I had was I still am a doting dog mom. And if I had to ever pursue anything different in life, which was different from what my work experience calls for, it would have been pets.
So you took what you loved.
Yes.
And made a business out of it.
Yes.
So how do you feel now? You came from the corporate world.
Yes.
Into something completely different, being an entrepreneur. How emotionally do you feel that transition?
I think it has been a challenging transition because this is my first venture. And when we started Pawz and Dogz towards the end of 2019, we were only a year and a half old in Canada. We never had any friends in the pet industry or any relevant network or connections, and we didn't even know where to start. The idea was there. My husband was already simmering with the idea, why don't we start a business? But we never knew what we would do.
Right.
And towards the end of 2019, I finally took the leap. And we said, okay, let's do it. We'll see whatever happens.
Okay. Now, did you have a big budget to start this business? Or was it small?
No, it was from our savings. My better half was my angel investor. But slowly and steadily, we found that enrichment is a space which is at a nascent stage right now, but is a growing niche. We are barely scratching the surface with olfactory canine enrichment, the enrichment which has to do with the nose.
So how did you source out a supplier to make this? Where did you go?
In terms of procurement, honestly, we were never sure of how to proceed with it because procuring products from overseas is easy, but when it comes to making your own design, there comes the challenge. We have a vision of a particular product, but suppliers who can bring our vision to life, that was the most important aspect.
So once you created the product and you wanted to take it to the marketplace, what did you do? Did you build websites? Did you put it up on socials? How did you get your first beginning of your business going to put it out to the world?
When we started, we never knew what marketplaces exist. You won't believe, when we started, in order to appeal to our local community, which was Halton Hills, we started putting them on Facebook Marketplace so that people, when they are searching for pet supplies or pet accessories, they might come across Pawz and Dogz, and that's how they might discover our products.
Right.
The website was definitely up, but we definitely had a challenge of getting the website across to consumers. We started making use of dog Facebook groups. We started posting in our local Halton Hills groups, the Tell and Sell groups. So slowly and steadily, it started picking up momentum. It was my Halton Hills small business consultant who told me, are you on Instagram? Instagram is a very powerful tool when it comes to marketing.
Yeah.
And I didn't know ABCs of Instagram. I was not a social media person. I'm an introvert by nature, and I love to keep my private life to myself. Business requires you to be an extrovert, to be available online 24/7, to be completely approachable to your customers digitally, to have a face of the brand out there, marketing yourself, which was completely 180-degree different from what I was as a character.
Right.
And I signed up on Instagram, and slowly and steadily I started making some posts on Canva and simple things like on your presentations. Even though when we started we were doing $0 marketing, we started having surplus slowly and steadily to be able to invest in paid advertising like Google ads, social media ads. Guys, if you don't know, Canada even offers a grant for digital advertising, which is called the CDAP, where you can get a grant amount of either $2,400 or $15,000 based on your annual revenue.
Right.
So we did make use of that grant to...
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
So everything goes through the e-commerce website. Did you create it or have somebody create it for you?
My husband and I, who own the company, we are both engineers by background. So we had to put our designing caps on, and with our limited design skills, we were able to put a website together, because a lot of times being perfect is a myth in business.
Yes.
Starting is what is needed in a business. So we had to start somewhere, even with an imperfect website, or if it is not SEO optimized or whatever it is, with the basic e-com facility to be able to process a payment, we just started the website.
Now, you are in 1,200 stores, as I mentioned earlier, which is huge. I mean, that is a significant number of stores. How did you get going in that space?
Our retail was starting to pick up, but we knew that we had to get into stores and distribution. So wholesale was the next logical step for us beyond retail. I started looking into stores, pet stores.
Right.
Even on Facebook, because all of these pet stores, a majority of them, 99.9% of them, have their Facebook pages or Instagram handles. I started messaging them. Hi, we are so-and-so. This is a little about our company, and we want to present to you our snuffle mats. And we did have a thought, and it was getting validated with the consumer buying pattern.
Yes.
So slowly and steadily, we had started identifying our niche, and that's when we understood, okay, let's look into enrichment, and enrichment is a growing category, and we started, okay, let's become the specialists in the field.
Okay, so when you went to these stores through either Facebook or Instagram and reached out to them, and you just said, I've got this incredible product that I'd like to show you, and they would reach back out and set up an appointment, and that's how you grew it into 1,200 stores.
Yes. Before going to distribution, we had to prove ourselves in the market. So we kept our minimum order quantities very less, and it was only a couple of snuffle mats. So the stores were not very hesitant in trying, because they were not blocking a big amount of money in trying out the snuffle mats, whether it's going to fly in their store or not. Once the snuffle mats flew in their store, they started ordering in a lot more quantity, and by then lockdown had happened, everybody was confined to homes, so it was all digital.
Right.
So we had to talk on Instagram messages, we had to talk on Facebook messengers.
So have you hired employees? I assume now you have people who work for you.
Employees? No. 95% of the front ending is done by myself. My husband supports me for the back end processes with warehousing and sometimes deliveries. A lot of the critical functions like marketing, finance are outsourced. Functions like sourcing, manufacturing, and supplier partnerships with important stakeholders, customer service, I keep it with myself.
So when you started, you said that there were about 100 stores in Canada. So that built sort of the foundation. And then you took that sample to bigger storefronts.
Yes.
To help you get in the door.
Yes. So we had to ride on our successes.
Now you've been in business for 5 years. What would you consider to be your biggest challenge?
I think our biggest challenge, managing multiple functions. Everything was a priority at that point of time. Marketing was a priority, sourcing was a priority, managing finances was a priority, new customer acquisition was a priority, everything, sales was a priority.
Right.
And each of them were equally important. I think balancing these priority matters a lot in business, and that is a challenge. And the second challenge that I would say is for us as a business, because we are immigrants, we did not have a particular network to fall back on. So everything was ground up. We had to make a real good product so that the product spoke for itself.
And what has been the most fulfilling part coming from the corporate world to being an entrepreneur? What's made you really happy about doing it?
I think the best part is I own something. I can call something of my own. In corporate world where I was working, I was an employee. But here I am my own boss.
Right.
I'm able to juggle my priorities of family and business because I am the boss over here. If my family needs me at some point of time, business takes a backseat. And sometimes family comes second because there is something more important in business that needs to get managed.
That you have to prioritize. So what would you say to somebody who's listening to you now and is thinking about becoming their own boss or entrepreneur? What would you say to them?
Just take the leap. There is no right time. There have been times when I have thought I have started this business maybe 5 years earlier, because there are brands in the market whose owners are in their 20s and I'm already almost touching 40. But there is no right time. There is no right or wrong over here. If you think that is the right time, just take the leap.
So give us 3 words to describe your entrepreneurial experience.
Challenging, resilience, and perseverance. Challenging, yes, because when we do not have anything, we have to develop everything organically and from scratch. It can be a challenge. Sometimes it does take a toll on your mental health too. When I say resilience, there will be times when you will want to give up. There have been times when I have said, okay, just close the business and I'm going back to work. I have to be persistent. Not everybody replies to emails. Not everybody replies to messages. Not everybody returns your calls. I have faced ample amount of rejections, and I still do. It's going to be the truth that is going to stick around with you as long as you're a business owner.
Well, I think your story is incredible.
Thank you.
I very much appreciate you coming in and talking with me and sharing your story with others who are looking at pursuing something similar to you. And I think what you've shared has been really helpful. So thank you for coming in and taking the time. I also love your product.
Thank you.
I want to buy one. So let's close this and talk about how much I owe you. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you very much.